All the smoke fight. I'm watching all the smoke fight. The Art of Ward. Terrence Crawford exclusive, upsetting Canelo. The round I knew I won, and what's next? I'm a little bit under the weather, y'all, so work with me.
Get busy, bro. Yeah, get busy. Don't ask me where the new rag at, nothing. The nigga did have. Say, get busy. Headbutt.
He's trying to bite your nose. No, you felt that. You felt your chest. Come on, let it. To the Art of War. Today, I got my brother in the building. I'm excited about this interview. This is the hottest interview in boxing right now. He a three-time undisputed champion, undisputed at 140 pounds, undisputed at 147 pounds, and he just became the super middleweight undisputed champion of the world with his win against Canelo Alvarez at Allegiant Stadium with over 70,000 fans, 41 million people watched it live on Netflix. I want to welcome to the show today. Cut that out.
He was struggling over there with that phone.
I want to welcome to the show today my brother Terrence Bud Crawford. Big dog, I appreciate the time. You start winning them big fights, the media got to come to you. So we had to come to you at Omaha. And we in North Omaha to be exact, man. So we appreciate you taking the time. Man, congrats on another historic victory against, another great fighter, Canelo Alvarez. He has been, the cash cow, the face of boxing, or one of the faces for a very, very long time. And you jumped 2 weight classes to challenge him. And in my book, you're already one of the greats. You're already a first ballot. But with a victory like that, the way you did it, you take the GOAT conversation to another level. So have you had time to process it and reflect on what you just did 2 weeks ago?
To be honest, I've been getting that same question from a lot of people, and a lot of people ask me how I feel, and what it's like. And I tell them, like, when it's meant to be, you don't feel no different. Like, honestly, I don't feel no type of way because I already knew what I was capable of. I already knew what I was going to do once I stepped in the ring, which was win, like I've been saying. And it wasn't no surprise to me. It was a surprise to everybody else, just like the Errol Spence fight, so just like the Sean Porter fight, just like the Amir Khan. Every time that they so-called say this is a step-up fight or this is going to be a tough fight, in the fashion that I win in, it's a surprise to them because they don't believe. So I just made a believer out of all the non-believers.
I know you expected to win, but to believe you can do it and to do it is 2 different things. So what I'm asking you is, like, have you enjoyed the victory? Like, have you had a chance to, like, say, man, we really did that?
Oh, of course. I sat down, and after each one of my fights, I just take a deep breath and I'm like, it's over with, because the stress is off my back, the intensity, just everything that's around a championship fight is stressful. We put a lot of mental fortitude into, what we're going to do when we go in that ring and how we're going to do it, and in training, making sure that everything is in line of what we're trying to accomplish. And when it's all said and done, when it's over with, you just like, I did that.
Got that off my back.
Yeah, I did that.
So before we get into the fight, man, I appreciate the fits and the shoes and stuff like that a fighter has. So I got to do a little heat check for you with your outfit going into the ring. That's probably the rawest, dopest fit I done seen you with. The colorway, everything. And I know Steven had a lot to do with that. How did that come about? Like his idea to do that?
Well, I was sitting there and I was just like, what we gonna do for this fight? You know,
In camp or before camp?
this is before, you know, before we went to pre-camp. And I was just like, man, what we gonna do? He was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna think of something dope. So then he just hit me like, oh, I got this dope idea. I'm like, man, do what you do. You know what I mean? You're like, all right. So then it gets to the point, I'm like, man, what you thinking, man? And then he was like, you remember the movie Desperado? And I was like, Desperado. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude with the suitcase with all the guns and stuff. You know what I mean? I used to watch that when I was little. He was like, that's what we're gonna do. And I was like, that's dope. He was like, because everybody always coming out with the sombrero, you know, the Mexican colors and all that. He was like, man, we're not doing that. We're going to do something totally different. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, I just want to see how you going to put your touch on it. Because, you know, that's one touch. And then, you know what I mean, you're going to do a little twist with it. It was like, yeah. So talking with my boy Rosendo, you know, I asked him, did he know the song? And he started singing it. And I was like, you gonna walk me out? And he was looking like, man, come on, man. Don't be saying that. And I'm like, man, I want you to walk me out. I'm dead serious. And he was just like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, I want you to walk me out.
I hope y'all staying healthy out
And he
here.
was like, man,
Stay out of
that'd be
trouble.
So big for me. He was like, man,
Drinking
I gotta
water.
go practice.
Drink lots of water
He's like,
every day,
I
man.
got bed, I got everything. Yeah, so like he was on to it, and then so he put his little input in
I
on
hope y'all boxing fans out there.
to put on
I
the
love
outfit.
boxing.
You know.
Oh, really? He had to say, too.
Yeah, so he was just basically like, okay, well, you know, this is popular in the Mexican culture. You know, this is, you gotta have this on there, on the trunks, because this stands for this. When you're looking at the movie, the outfit and the chains and certain things that was on his attire and his boots, you know, them meant something. So he was like, you gotta have that. The Mexicans know exactly what that means. It's like, y'all probably don't know what it means, but they do. So, you know, he had a little input, and then Off-White, they came in and put a
You
little
tell me
twist.
about the Off-White collab.
Yeah, so Off-White came in with Everlast. They put a little they twist in it, put a little they colors in it, and changed a little bit of, you know what I mean? Like I had guns on my, you know what I mean, my belt line. You know what I mean? They took them off. But all in all, the outfit was smooth, it was cool, you know what I mean? I'm mad that they didn't get to see the side of the case, because the side of the case got the guns painted on it, you know, so.
That was an accident? Or they didn't want you
They
to show
didn't,
it?
no, they just didn't show it because I was coming out. They didn't get to see the side.
Gotcha.
I should have been the one, you know what I mean, to turn it to the side. Like, yeah, the show, because in the movie, the guitar case is full of weapons. You know what I mean? And I felt like it was a message that I was the weapon that night. You know, so that was all.
What up, fight fans? It's your boy Ak. We have a super entertaining fight coming your way. Join in on all the action with our partners at DraftKings. Okay, Brock, the Mexican monster, right? Mike Tyson, Coin, David Benavidez. He's fighting Anthony Yard, who I respect very much. He's a very good fighter. This fight is going to be more competitive than people think. We know what Benavidez can do, but Yard has a chip on his shoulder, and he knows the opportunity that's in front of him.
First of all, all Anthony Yard's fights are competitive. The thing is that he's fighting somebody who's young. He's fighting somebody who's young, who's on a tremendous roll, one of the best fighters in the world. I don't know how long that fight might last, but I do think that he might feel that this is one of his last chances. So when a fighter feels like that, he's going to come in shape. It's going to be a tough fight. This is going to be one of those fights that you don't want to miss. Check out everything that DraftKings has to offer and sign up with our code ATS Fights. The crown is yours.
With so many different ways to play, DraftKings has something for every sports fan. Join in on the action all night long. See what DraftKings has to offer via the app or the website. Join in on the action right now.
I can't believe you guys are still standing there. Go download the DraftKings app right now. And new customers, use our promo code ATS Fight to level up your fighting experience.
I was like, bro, how this dude get like a mariachi band or any type of band to go against Canelo on a big fight like this? But that was somebody who came up with it.
Yeah. And that's why, I pay homage, in a press conference to the Mexican fans, before the fight and, before fight weekend. And I was like, I love Mexico too. Because I have a lot of Mexican supporters. Always had, I've been locked in with the Mexican culture for a long time, and for people to think that all the Mexicans was going for Canelo was just crazy, just like all the African American culture wasn't going for me, so it was cool to have the band, switch it up a little bit.
It was dope, bro. That's probably one of the cleanest walkouts that I've seen. It wasn't extra, it was like just enough. But you felt it though, like the song, the type of song and the beat, the way it was, it just like, you was like, bro, this dude, like, he really coming to fight. And he mean what he's saying, and you can tell y'all had a lot of thought into the interest, but then even, like you said, with the fit, like y'all had the Mexican colors, but it was black, green, and red. When I seen you walk out, bro, when I seen you walk out, a lot of times that moment, especially, that's the biggest crowd you ever been in front of. 70,000+ others. And you get to talk about it, you can rehearse it in your head, you're not gonna know how you gonna respond until you step out there. But when I seen you step out there, you looked up like this, and you start smiling, you start shaking your head. And to me, that was a sign that, I'm embracing this moment. All these nerves, everything, I'm feeling like I'm ready. How was you feeling when you looked up and seen them 70,000 people?
The craziest part? I say I went to WrestleMania, and it was at Allegiant Stadium, and when I walked out, and all the people was like, Terrence, that's Terrence Crawford. And I'm looking at all the crowd, and I'm like, dang, in September, this gonna be me. And I was nervous, and I was like, dang, man, there's a lot of people in here, you know what I mean? But fight weekend, I wasn't nervous at all. The whole week. And it's crazy because I don't never get nervous until the night before the fight in the dressing room. But this whole time, it's like, I was emotional, you know what I mean, in the dressing room. I was just emotional, and I was just like, man, you finally here, like, you about to make history. I just kept saying, you about to make history, and it took all these years and all this things that you had to overcome to get to this one moment.
Open the time checking account in 2 minutes. We'll spot you up to $200 for the festive spring and beyond. Apply now.
Arriving home is like going barefoot, taking that weight off your shoulders. And in La Casa de la Playa, everything is designed so you can leave a part of yourself in every corner, just like in your own home. La Casa de la Playa, exclusively your way.
So when I came out, I never smile or laugh when I'm walking to the ring, But I was just like, I'm about to shock the world. I just felt it, And when I got in there, I just was so loose. Like, I never take a stroll around the ring. If you watch any one of my fights, any one of the 42 fights, I come in the ring, I go to my corner. I didn't hit my little circle around the ring, everything. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm like, they just don't know. I had a fast walk to the ring. You did. He had a slow walk. Yeah. And I look at things like that. I'm like, well, okay. He just taking his time. I'm ready to go. That's just how that night went.
It had to be weird though, walking first. You ain't walking first, you walked first before. But you ain't did it in a long time. I mean, when you go up in different weight classes, you got to do it. But you ain't, obviously you haven't lost. You haven't, but you went up in different weight classes, so now you're challenging again. But do that feel weird? Because most of the time you walking second.
It don't. It don't feel weird to me because at the same time, the bell gonna ring and we're gonna have to fight.
It's all even at the end of the day.
You know, so it don't matter if I'm, you know, the first to be announced or he the first to be announced. You gotta fight. At the end of the day, you gotta fight.
Take me back to before you made the decision to face Canelo. Bill Haney conversation. So, if I'm not mistaken,
Hope y'all
Errol
having a
Spence
good
too was
night
still,
out there.
obviously, contractually, y'all had
Listen to this
an obligation.
conversation
You didn't know if he was
Before that.
Between
even before
the legends,
Hold on,
Andre
before-
Ward
We even fought. Me and
and
Errol
Terrence
Spence-
Bud Crawford.
I thought this was after
No, this is before.
Crawford Spence won.
He said, man, don't even stop chasing Errol Spence. He was like, man, the guy to focus on chase is Canelo.
Really?
It's like, man, you can beat him. It's like, man, Spence, Canelo. And like every time I see him, people like, Canelo. And I start laughing, you know what I mean? Because at first I'm like, man, that dude big, him. And then I start looking at him, I'm like, then we got a picture together years back when I was at 135. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, we're the same height, around the same size. Like, a little bigger, okay. I'm starting to look into it now because he already planted the seed, but now I'm like looking into it. Like, let me see what Bill talking about. Bill look at now what he see. Oh, okay. This is what he talking about. Cause he like, man, he's not a big dude. And he just kept saying he's not a big dude and you can beat him. And then when I looked into it, I'm like, damn, Bill, right. You know what I mean? So then it was just like, okay, cool. Got the Spence fight.
Y'all hear that?
After the Spence
Did he
fight,
say
I'm
Bill
like,
Haney?
Like, he a little bigger, okay. I'm stuck 5, focusing on chases Canelo. Really? It's like, man, you can beat him.
Let's hear that again.
It don't feel weird to me because
I wasn't paying
at the
attention.
same time, the bell gonna ring and we're gonna have to fight.
It's all even
I
at
think
the
he
end of
said
the
Bill
day.
Haney.
So it don't matter if
Right?
I'm,
He said Bill Haney.
you know, the first to be announced or he the first to be announced. You gotta fight. At the end of the day, you gotta fight.
Yeah. Take me back to before you made the decision to face Canelo. Bill Haney conversation. So, if I'm not mistaken, Errol Spence too was still obviously contractually y'all had an obligation. You didn't know if
This
he
was
was
before that.
even before.
See,
Hold on, before.
we even fought. Me and Errol Spence. even
Hold
fought.
on, bro. For real? I thought this was after
No, this is before.
Crawford Spence won.
He said, man, don't even stop chasing Errol Spence. He was like, man, the guy that focus on chase is Canelo.
Really?
It's like, man, you can beat him. It's like, man, Spence, Canelo. And like every time I see him, he be like, Canelo. And I start laughing, you know what I mean? Because at first I'm like, man, that dude big, him. And then I start looking at him, I'm like, then we got a picture together years back when I was at 135. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, we the same height, around the same size. Like, he a little bigger, okay. I'm starting to look into it now because he already planted the seed, but now I'm like looking into it. Like, let me see what Bill talking about. Bill look at now what he see. So I'm, oh, okay. This is what he talking about. Because he's like, man, he's not a big dude. And he just kept saying he's not a big dude and you can beat him. And then when I looked into it, I'm like, damn, Bill, right. You know what I mean? So then it was just like, okay, cool. Got the Spence fight. After the Spence fight, I'm like, I want to fight Canelo. You know what I mean? Spence was basically contracted to fight Canelo if he would have beat me at 164. You know, and I was just like, damn. Which, since I beat him, I should get the opportunity. Man, shut up. You know what I mean? So it ain't going nowhere and things like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm done with 147. I ain't going back. I'm like, all right, I want to fight Fundora. You know, because I'm WBO. I can fight anyone in champions. He was WBC and WBO. So I'm like,
Truck Manager is a multiplayer management game where you control your own trucking company. Create routes and transport various cargo to terminals all over the world. Yeah, you got this. Let's go to your garage and order a new truck. Tweak the settings to fit your needs. Whether you are running local trips or long hauls across the country, nice choice. Now, hit the road and start expanding your truck man.
I want to fight Fundora. You know what I mean? He got 2 belts. I want to become undisputed at 154. That was my train of thought. But when he said